Welcome back to Yogaxpress. I'm not sure if we remember to change the episode number. In case we did not actually put it on the screen, I would like our viewers to know we are on episode, I believe, 565. Think so? Yes, I believe we are at 565. Well, we ideally what we do is because we have a guest, we invite our guest to come over and over one after the other episode. And in fact, Melissa has a whole seasonal sequence for us. She's actually prepared, you prepared 4, right? And I was a little disappointed we may not be able to get her back for the 4th one, which is really the grand finale. I'm also a little afraid to ask Melissa what she has in store for me. So, Vita, if you have a chance, please confirm, or if you can just change the episode number, which was my mistake. I forgot to do it. And at some point, we can either flash it or anyway, it's 565. Before we move on, I'd like to thank our crew, Vita Fraga, our director, with assistance from Daniel Cameron on robotic camera and the audio. We also have our facilitators, Rich Spezial and Corey Bryce, to thank for all this studio setup, the lights, the sounds, everything that makes us look good right here. Melissa, you have come with us the last 3 episodes. You've been with us several times before. I know you're a yoga teacher and a holistic health counselor. This is my last chance this season to ask you. Towards the end, I may have a couple of questions, but even right in the beginning, because as your sequences became progressively harder, I wanted to make sure that I was being safe, but also that viewers are safe. Are there any safety tips you'd like to give our viewers before we start today? Because I know today is probably going to be a tough one.
Sure. I know, it's funny, you said you were glad I came back. I'm like, are you sure you weren't relieved that we that we were going to skip the winter month?
No, actually, I like closure. I like everything to be nice and complete.
For sure. And this one is going to be a little bit more heated and more movement. But whether it's practicing here, through the show, or going to a yoga studio or a fitness studio, it's always important to, make sure you have a firm surface. So we've got our mats here that are a nice firm surface to work on.
I like this one.
Yeah.
I've had this for 20 years. Would you believe it?
I would it. Wow. Nice. I think we tend to, yes, we're both practicing barefoot. And practicing barefoot, too, gives us a little bit more traction, too. Right. Socks can get a little bit slippery. So I think it's a good safety measure to try to use a mat or some sort of flat surface, even like a hard floor, and to practice barefoot so you're nice and grippy. And to always move at your own pace. If something feels uncomfortable for you, it doesn't mean that you're doing something wrong. It just might mean the pose isn't for you today. Maybe it'll be there tomorrow, too. Every day's different.
Well, I have a quick question on that while we are on the safety tips. Some people don't like to show their feet.
Oh, yeah.
But there are socks. I've seen socks with rubber dots under them. Is that okay for simple postures at least for them?
I think so.
Okay.
I haven't used them myself.
Right.
I think it's up to every.
And I like bare feet because I like to connect with the earth, but I know what you're saying about safety. But socks are not really ideal. Is that what you're saying?
The ones that wouldn't have that rubber on the bottom, I would say definitely are too slippy.
Yeah. Got it. Okay.
Yeah. Nice firm foundation. Or you could practice we were saying one of our favorite practices, the Yoga Nidra, and you just lay down flat.
Oh, yeah.
That's a safe practice.
Right. You don't have to keep your feet on the ground. Mm-hmm. So that's another safety tip. What about balance? That's something I want to make sure I get it right. Mm-hmm. In the last episode, I'm usually, at least, I consider myself pretty good in balanced postures. But I got a little distracted and I came out of the posture. Of course, I'm happy to get back in. Is there any little tip that you can help us with when I'm in balanced posture?
Sure. So in yoga, there's this concept called the drishti, which is your focus point, your focal point.
Right.
Both physically by having the eyes focus on something that's unmoving. So maybe it's a point on the floor, maybe it's something on the wall.
Right.
And it's also focusing all of your attention there. And that kind of helps to settle the body and mind a bit so that when you're doing something a little bit less stable, like a balancing pose.
So
helps
focus on an
reinforce it.
object that doesn't move, I guess.
Yeah.
If that object is moving, then I'm sort of messed up already.
Yep. And it could even be a spot on the floor. If you're on a wood grain floor
good
and there's a
point.
little
Yeah,
knot
yeah,
in the
yeah.
wood,
Right.
that's a perfect drishti.
Okay. No, that sounds fine. I mean, I need those kind of tips because sometimes, it doesn't matter how much confidence we have in our own abilities. Of course, there are some postures that are not accessible to some of us. But sometimes I feel, I can do this. And then I get into the posture and I find suddenly my mind is wandering. So that helps, definitely. So look at something.
Yeah, and just
Okay.
one last note for that
Yeah.
too, to support us in either balancing posture or any of the postures that we're doing too. It is totally expected almost and very normal and part of our practice that the mind starts chattering too of, am I doing this right? Does this work for me? How's my alignment? All that. I saw this comic too that says, is it warrior pose or worrier pose? Because we're always worrying what our alignment is.
Aren't you glad we don't have mirrors?
I'm very glad that we just have a TV screen,
Right.
but no mirrors. But the breath is so
monitor.
important for us, both for physically supporting the body, because in yoga we're breathing with the belly, and that
Right.
diaphragm helps to support our posture.
Right.
That moving in and out and engaging the belly, but it also helps to still the mind down and remind us that all we need to do is focus on the breath. Even if we're not doing it perfect today, we always have the opportunity to come back to the mat and try it again. It just matters that we're present and we're here and we're showing up.
Right. Hey,
breath
I'm going to
really-
keep all of that in mind.
Sure. Here we go.
I know. I'm ready.
Sure. So today's sequence is planned for the winter, where it's very cold outside and we want to build some heat within the body. And we might also find, even if it's not in the winter season, maybe we're feeling a little bit lethargic or sluggish and we need more energy. Maybe things are just kind of slow and heavy. This would be a good sequence any time of the year when you're feeling that way.
So I can have all the processed food I want and just do your nice.
It's that easy.
Warming sequence. Hey, she's a nutritionist and Ayurvedic holistic health counselor. You know the answers to everything.
That must be it. We do my best. We do our best. Everyone's got their own things that work for them. So to start off for today, I would like us to begin. We're actually going to move right into some movement because I want to make sure we have enough time to warm
Sure.
everything up.
Okay.
Please start. Well, let's see. I just know we were talking a little bit. Yes, let's come into tabletop pose. And let's start warming up the spine right away with cat and cow pose. So this series helps to stretch the spine, I shouldn't say stretch, but warm up the spine in all directions. So on the inhale, we're going to draw the heart forward between the arms, let the belly drop and the hips lift. Exhale, we'll round the spine, pressing into the earth and tucking the tailbone underneath. Inhale, draw the heart forward. Exhale, round the spine. Let's do two more like that. Inhale, forward. Exhale to round. On your inhale, come forward. And exhale, round. Please find a flat back, neutral spine. And then bring the gaze over the right shoulder toward the right hip, making a C shape with the spine. Inhale back to center. Exhale to the other side, gazing over the shoulder, drawing the hip in toward you. Inhale back to center. Exhale over to the right. Inhale back to center. Exhale to the left. Come back to center. And from here, you can bring the hips down to the floor, finding a seat. Now we've warmed up the spine in cat-cow, going forward and back, side to side. Now we're going to do a twist. Inhale, please lift the arms up toward the ceiling. Exhale, right hand toward the left knee, twisting over to the left. Inhale, sit a little taller. Exhale, maybe twist a little deeper. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, twist over to the other side. Left hand is coming over toward right knee. Inhale, sit a little taller. Exhale, twist a little deeper. Inhale, back to center. And then send the legs forward. We're making our way into boat pose, Vasana. This is not my favorite pose.
Me neither.
But it's an
We're
important
going
one.
to give it a shot, yeah.
And a few options here. You can take boat pose just leaving your feet pressed into the mat. Your hands come behind you, and you can support yourself right here. The next option, to make things a little bit spicier and heat things up, is to begin to lift the feet so that the shins are parallel to the floor. This is helping to start engage the low belly and the upper abdomen. Option 3 is to lift the hands. We're going to hold for 3 breaths here.
Oh, thank goodness. I thought you were going to say 3 minutes.
No, not 3 minutes. We're going to call that 2 because we've been counting or talking. And when you're ready, you can lower the feet and the hands back down. That was round 1. Round 2, 3 options. Option 1, we're staying here, feet firmly pressed into the earth, our hands are behind us. Or maybe we're lifting the shins up, still keeping the hands down to support you. Option 2, you can lift the hands and stay here. Option 3, I'm just going to adjust a sec, is you're going to lower down on the inhale. Exhale, come back up. We'll just do 2 more, just 2 more. Inhale, lower. Exhale, bring it up. Once more. And when you're done, you can come back to a seat from wherever you were. All right, we're feeling warmed up. I know I am.
Where did my 6 go? I only have 6 now.
All right, take a second just to shake out the shoulders. And then we're going to come back to tabletop.
That was tough.
Yep. And continuing to work with the abs, please send your right leg back behind you, tucking the toes. Option 1, you can stay here, just rocking forward and back, warming up that leg. Option 2, begin to lift that leg up toward the ceiling so that the ankle is parallel to the hip. Yep.
I can't see mine. Do I look okay?
You look great, and I just checked a little bit over in the monitor there too.
Okay.
You can check in.
Oh, all right.
Option 3, maybe bringing your weight into the right hand. You can extend the left arm forward. Keep pressing firmly into the arm so we're not sinking down toward the floor. Make sure you're pressing up. You can hold here for 3 breaths.
I forgot about the monitor. No wonder you know exactly what I'm doing.
You can hold here, or maybe you're bringing elbow in toward the knee for kind of like a crunch pose here, like we're doing crunches. Stay still, or take these 3 crunches with us. Exhale in. Last breath. And then lower hand and knee down to the mat. Maybe take a child's pose, rinse it out, reset.
I like that word, reset.
Yeah. All right, and ready for round 2, taking it on the other side. Maybe bringing that leg back, tucking the toe. Find where you're at today and welcome that and rest there. Option 2, begin to lift that leg up toward the ceiling. If if that feels good for you.
Oh, started there. Okay, good.
You can stay here. You're still engaging the core. You're still drawing the belly in toward the spine. Or maybe you're sending that right arm out too. Whichever variation we take, we're working on these same areas and helping to engage all these key places. You can hold here or take those 3 crunches. Inhale. Exhale, elbow to knee. 2 more with your own breath. Release hand and knee back down to the floor, and this time we'll reset with down dog. Tuck the back toes. Press into the hands, lift up and back. You can pedal out through the feet here, bending the knees. And then walk the feet to the hands for forward fold. You can grab opposite elbows here. Rock from side to side gently. And then coming back to center, ground through the feet and roll your way back up to stand. When you get to the top, inhale, arms up toward the ceiling. And exhale, hands heart center. Inhale, arms lift. Exhale, hinge at the hips to fold. Inhale, half lift, flat back. Exhale, bend the knees and drop the hips. We're coming to awkward chair pose. Arms lift up toward the sky as hips sink down toward the earth. And see if you can engage low belly here to bring the tailbone underneath you. Hold for 1 more breath. And then on an exhale, fold forward. You can plant the hands and step the feet back for down dog. Inhale, right leg up toward the ceiling. Exhale, bend the knee, draw knee in toward the nose, just like we did in tabletop. Inhale, up and back. Exhale, draw it in. Inhale, up and back. And when you're ready, we'll meet in a forward fold at the top of the mat, bending the knees, walking the feet forward. And then grounding down, you can roll your way back up. And you get to the top, inhale, arms lift. Exhale, hands heart center. Inhale, arms up. And exhale to fold. From here, please walk the feet toward the outer edges of the mat. And then let the toes point out to the side as the heels are pointing in towards your midline. So it's like your toes are toward the corners of the mat and your heels are in. Great. From here, I'd like to bring us to Malasana, or yoga squat.
Another favorite.
And we're going to do this very slowly. So please bend at the knees as you let the hips drop down toward the floor and hands can come to heart center. Now option 1, if this is a deep stretch for you, you can bring the hands right here to support you. So I'm pressing into the hands to support my torso here. Option 2, I can continue to lower the hip down toward the floor. Maybe walking the feet a little bit further out if I'd like some more support. And if this is
One of my teachers called this a squatty potty. Or potty squatty.
I can see that. And it is a very nice symmetrical pose for both sides of the hips and the low back. And from here, whether you're toward the ground, Banu, I'm going to let you be our trusted person here, and I'm going to come up just so I can show a we're taking this variation, you're going to see if you can leave your right hand down. You can bring your right hand down toward the mat, and then the left arm is going to open up toward the ceiling. Take a full breath here. Lower left hand down, right arm. Lower right hand down. And we'll all meet back in forward fold. So if you're toward the floor, you can begin to straighten the legs and then bend from the hips. Please walk the feet in back to hip width distance. Ground through the feet. Roll your way back.
That was good. Is that the whole sequence?
Can I
Feels
give
really
just
good.
one more option
Yeah.
if we can
Oh, yeah,
do
we have
credits
time.
over it? Okay.
We have time.
Alrighty.
1 minute.
1 minute. Okay.
That's half minute for you, half for me.
Please bring your weight onto your right foot. We're going to come into a balancing pose here. So with weight onto right foot, we're going to find tree. You can either bring the left foot to the ankle. You could bring it to the calf muscle. Or maybe you're skipping over the knee and bringing it all the way up towards the hip. We want to make sure that we just keep that foot on either the thigh muscle or the calf muscle. The hands come to heart center. Keep pressing firmly into the foot.
While we are here, holding still, I'd like to thank our crew, Daniel Cameron, Vita Fraga, our director, and our facilitators, Corey Bryce and Rich Spezial. We all appreciate Melissa Bull being here. Hey, I made it. I didn't fall out.
That was great. That was a yoga challenge. I'm switching to the other foot. And you might like to too at home. Bringing weight into the left foot, and then ankle, calf, or thigh.
And folks out there, you are watching Yoga Express